Hi, so I'm really fed up because I recorded like a 30-minute audio clip of my top 20 favourite horror movie characters in great detail, but there was a slight problem with the playback of the audio and it just doesn't work, so I've had to re-record the whole thing on Logic Pro 10. I tried to fix the audio because it did actually record, into the software, but I couldn't get any playback on the audio, so I'm that fed up. I'm just going to run through it quickly. So anyone who wanted to see this video, because I did throw an poll up and you guys voted this one to be put out before the other video topics that I suggested. So I'm just going to run through it pretty quick, and I do apologise for that. I just, I'll try and give some detail, but I'm that defeated from, I recorded 30 minutes worth, and it was pretty detailed and informative, and it's really just, I'm just exhausted. So let's get this thing done. So this is my favourite top 20 horror movie characters. I'll go into a bit of detail with some of them. Okay, starting at number 20 is Norman Bates from Alfred Hitchcock's 1960s Psycho. Anthony Perkins plays a great role. He's really odd. He's a complete oddball. He's really weird the way he dresses up like his mother and puts a wig on and murders people and throws them down his stairs and everything. So yeah, I've got Norman Bates at number 20, and he's great in the sequels too. Anthony Perkins really does a good job with this character. Number 19, I have Billy, the killer Santa Claus from Silent Night Deadly Night. So Billy from Silent Night Deadly Night at number 19. Number 18, Ben from Night of the Living Dead. So with Night of the Living Dead, it's kind of like responsible for how zombies are depicted in like modern culture nowadays, things like Walking Dead. I'm sure I've said that before. I had a bit of deja vu, but Ben is quite a revolutionary character. George A. Romero, director of the film, really took a chance on having a black main character, well, one of the main characters, with Barbara. He's the backbone of the film. He's always trying to help everybody. He wants to make sure they don't get eaten and devoured by zombie creatures, well, zombies. And he's like one of the first main black characters in a horror movie, so I believe. And yeah, quite revolutionary for the time with that choice from George A. Romero. And Ben, he's a great character in Night of the Living Dead, the original Night of the Living Dead. Number 17 is a character not from a film but from an TV show, and that is Dandy from American Horror Story Season 4 Freak Show. Yeah, crazy guy. He's so funny when he's such a snooty snob as well, and he's really arrogant, and he's hilarious and fun to watch. He tries to help Twisty the Clown with kidnapping the young woman and the boy and keep them captive, and then he goes on his own murderous rampage and becomes a serial killer, even murdering his own mother and his old playmate from years ago. And the housekeeper, it's so funny, and he bathes in blood and everything, and yeah, it's great. That's Dandy at number 17. Number 16, I wasn't going to put in the list, but because whether it's male or female characters, a lot of different people have been the Ghostface killer. So as you guessed, Ghostface from the Scream series is 16, just because I had to sort of put him in. And as far as if you were going off how killers look and their attire and an iconic mask, it'd be much higher, but because there's been a lot of different characters playing Ghostface, I was very lenient and let the Ghostface entity come into the list, just because of the sheer fact that it's not a specific character, as we know. Number 15, so we've got a female in the list, and it's Susie from Suspiria, the protagonist who goes to the dancing school in Germany and uncovers the coven of witches that run the school. Number 14, another female, and it's Reagan McNeil from The Exorcist. Linda Blair played a fantastic role at the time. She really did give in a good performance, spewing up everywhere, and she didn't literally spew up, but the character Reagan spews up everywhere, and she's menacing, she's possessed by a demon, she stabs her nether regions with the crucifix and stuff like that, and she has all these great lines, and she's very antagonistic towards her mother and the priests who are trying to exorcise the demon from her. Yeah, you got Reagan at number 14. Number 13, Pinhead from Hellraiser. Number 12, the little fucker Chucky from Child's Play and the other Chucky sequels. Number 11, Captain Spaulding from the Firefly trilogy, Rob Zombie's Firefly trilogy, you know, House of Thousand Corpses, Devil's Rejects, 3 from Hell. Number 10, the iconic Dr. Loomis from the Halloween franchise, played by Donald Pleasence. Number 9, the utterly terrifying and very creepy, with a great backstory and mythology behind her, it's the Blair Witch at number 9. Number 8, another character from Rob Zombie's Firefly trilogy, that's Otis Firefly. Bill Moseley plays a great part. One of his other characters from TCM2, Chop Top, could have made it into this list, he nearly did, but I opted for some other options. But yeah, Bill Moseley's great as Otis. Number 7, Tony Todd's Candyman, not to be confused with the 2021 depiction of Candyman. Although Tony Todd's Candyman's in the end of the film, he wasn't in the majority of it, and I thought that was quite disappointing. Although the film's actually okay, they did quite a good job with that one. For a modern horror, it's not bad. Anyway, Candyman at number 7, the original Tony Todd. Number 6, Jack Torrance from The Shining, Stanley Kubrick's masterpiece based on Stephen King's novel, starring Jack Nicholson, of course. Yeah, absolutely brilliant. I want to bash your brains in, and the axe through the door, and here's Johnny, and yeah, it's just a crazy fun character. Number 5, Leatherface from Texas Chainsaw Massacre. Number 4, the absolutely menacing and brooding force of Michael Myers from the Halloween franchise. Number 3, the next icon of horror, in my opinion, if they keep going with the films, and the newest character to be no, actually, I think Dandy's a newer character, so forget that, scrap that. But anyway, number 3 is the next horror icon if the films keep going. That's Art the Clown from Terrifier. And the reason I went off a little bit there is because I was calling him the newest character to be created, that's been created to be in this list. But I think Dandy was a bit off, because All Hallows Eve starred Art the Clown as well, Damien Leone's anthology from like 2011. Before it was its own thing, it had there was a Terrify segment in that, and Art the Clown was featured in the wraparound story. So I just made a little error there, forget that. Number 2, the top 2 are no surprises, so I'm not even going to go into great detail because everybody knows these characters who's a horror fanatic. So number 2, Jason Voorhees from the Friday the 13th franchise, the absolutely iconic looking killer. He was even great as with his sackhead Jason in the part 2, when he dons the iconic hockey mask in part 3. An absolute icon was born. Yeah, one of the most recognisable horror villains out there, or antagonists, characters in general. Yeah, brilliant. Number 1, of course, Freddy Krueger, played by Robert Englund. Yeah, Freddy's great. Prefer the more serious Freddy. Don't mind a bit of some comedic elements sprinkled into Freddy's character, like with the first film and the third one and New Nightmare. But number 2's he's quite serious as well, from what I remember. But later on in the franchise, they really go down the comedic route, and they absolutely exhaust it into the ground to the point where it's just ridiculous. Although the films are enjoyable, and I still like Freddy, and I like the stupid comedy version of Freddy, I just prefer the more serious version of Freddy. Okay, sorry if that was a bit too quick, but that's my top 20 favourite horror movie characters. I do apologise if it was a bit of an quick run through. I explained why at the beginning. Thanks for listening. What are your favourite horror characters? Please let me know in the comments if you're interested to, or feel like doing so, because it'd be an interesting little discussion. Perhaps I've missed some key characters maybe that I could have put in the list, but these are obviously my personal sort of ones that I enjoy, my personal favourites. There's a bit of a mix in there. They're mainly antagonists, but perhaps there's some characters that you love that you'd like to let me know about. Okay, thanks for listening, bye.